What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Bears franchise, and we're in the off season. Unfortunately, we didn't get it done. We finished 8-9, which we met our goal for 7 wins, and we added 1, so we got the 8. The Vikings and the Packers beat us out, and you know, it was pretty tough. It was pretty tough. You have to watch the last video. Now, our ranks: we had the #1 offensive rushing attack in the NFL. We had the second best defensive passing team in the NFL, or defense, however you want to say that, but we were pretty bad in points per game. We had 28 defensive points per game given up. That's not too good. And our offensive points per game was 23.6, which was kind of bottom last. So offense passing was terrible. Our defense rushing yards per game was terrible. So we got a lot to work on. Our contract was extended, quote unquote, with old Matty Ice. And I think what we're going to try to do in this video is we're going to go through the entire off season and then go ahead and start the preseason. So we're going to go ahead and advance the week. Really, there's not a lot going on. Playoff game. We're going to go ahead and advance to the fall. I don't want to go too far ahead because I do think we got some contract negotiations that we still could potentially go and do. So we're just going to keep advancing week by week and making sure we don't miss anything. So if we go ahead and look at the bracket, we're in the championship game. We've got the Saints going up against the Rams and the Browns with Deshaun Watson back on the Browns. He got traded to the Packers at one point for some reason. And like, you know, the trading system in Madden was completely messed up. There was a patch that got released today. Hopefully some of that got fixed, along with pass blocking, run blocking. There's a lot of things that got changed on the blocking front. It's going to be interesting to see how that changes in the sliders as well that I have on here so far. So we might get a little lucky with some of those preseason games, the first game, and I might have to make them a little bit harder. I do like the difficulty because it is difficult to win, and you have to play good to win, and I like that. But the Browns are going up against the Steelers. So Steelers, Browns, and the Rams and the Saints. Wow. So it is the Pro Bowl. So we're going to check out our yearly awards and then look at the Pro Bowl and see. I hope David Montgomery gets it. So Lamar Jackson won the MVP with an 8-9 record. Dak Prescott almost gets it, 10-7. That's Lamar must have had a ridiculous season. We'll have to check that out. Coach of the Year goes to Josh McDaniels. In the NFC, Christian McCaffrey gets Offensive Player of the Year, and David Montgomery finishes 8th. I guess he didn't get the touchdowns to necessarily be Offensive Player of the Year. Christian McCaffrey had a ton of touchdowns, but he also led the league in rushing. Defensive Player of the Year went to Nick Bosa, and I don't see anybody here for the Bears, of course, on defense. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Drake London, and the Defensive Rookie of the Year goes to our guy, Mr. Brisker. Man, Jaquan Brisker with a Defensive Rookie of the Year. That's pretty good. I'm very surprised that we got that. We got it over Aiden Hutchinson, and it had to be the interceptions that gave us that. Best quarterback, Dak Prescott. Best running back goes to McCaffrey. Alvin Kamara beats out Montgomery. Now, remember, Montgomery didn't have a very good touchdown rate or a very good yards per rush attempt, so that was probably what kind of held him back. Cooper Kupp gets best wide receiver, and we saw that he had a ton of touchdowns and receiving yards when we played him. Shaq Mason gets the best offensive line. I highly doubt we got anybody in there. We don't. Best defensive lineman, we don't have anybody, and that goes to Nick Bosa. Best linebacker, Danielle Hunter. And we're not going to see our guy, the Wolf Hunter, in there. Best DB, Darius Slay Jr. We saw he led the NFL in interceptions, but Brisker's right there along with Tavon Young because we did have quite a lot of interceptions. You also see DeAndre Houston Carson there. We're going to try to re-sign him before free agency if he will want to re-sign for us. I thought he was a good fit for our team. Mason Crosby gets the best kicker. Right behind him was our guy Santos, who got a little benefit from the kicking power being bumped up by a few. And so that was pretty much it for the yearly awards. If we go to the Pro Bowl, did any of our players get the Pro Bowl? Because that does help out a little bit with some XP. Baker Mayfield gets in the Pro Bowl. So David Montgomery is in there. Tari Blasingame also gets in there. So we already have 2 guys in the Pro Bowl from the Bears. That's a leap up from last year. It has to be. And then, of course, Jaquan Brisker and Cairo Santos also get in there. So we had 4 guys. Now, come on. Dante Pettis does not get the kick return. That is criminal. So we said we were going to talk about who we were going to give out our awards. So offensive player for the Bears is obviously David Montgomery. Defensive player, MVP, is going to go to Brisker. And then special teams was D DeAndre Pettis. Yes, DeAndre Pettis. I don't know why I just kind of blinked on that all of a sudden. I wanted to look at right quick before we go into any of these offseason moves. I wanted to see exactly what Lamar Jackson did. And so he threw 35 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, which was a low all the way across the board. He had to run. He had to run some, guys. I mean, this is kind of weird. There's Lamar Jackson. Okay, that makes sense. Over 1,100 yards with 14 touchdowns. So yeah, he had almost like 50 total touchdowns, and that definitely leads the NFL at the quarterback position, and he only turned it over, what, 5 times? So, okay, I'll give it to him. That's fair. 8-9, he gets MVP, and we are getting ready to start this off season officially. But before we do that, we do have a media day. Talk to the media about participating as a head coach in the Pro Bowl. So Matt Eberflus gets to be the coach of the NFC Pro Bowl. So we're just going to have fun. I mean, they don't even really tackle. Let's be honest. Does that give us any XP? So we got an additional 5 staff points, which gives us 6. We do get a chance to upgrade somebody, and that's probably going to be Brisker because that award finally kicked in. He gets 1 skill point, and I think we continue to make him a hybrid type of player. Led the team in tackles, led the team in interceptions. He's definitely a hybrid safety. So now he's a 79 overall with the morale giving him an actual boost. And it's going to be a Browns-Saints Super Bowl? Yeah, okay, come on. We know that's not right. So let's go ahead and advance the week, see who wins. Browns, Saints, who wins? I'm going to go with the Browns. If Deshaun Watson wins this thing, and he does, 34-18, and they win it. So good signing by the Browns for getting Deshaun Watson. Even though he was out for 11 of their games, they still managed to make the playoffs, get into the Super Bowl, and then win it. That is crazy. We just got a few more players we can upgrade here. And a lot of these are the practice squad players. Really not worried about any of them. We do have a few head coach staff moves. Pete Carroll does retire after an abysmal season, I would imagine, for the Seahawks. Mike McCarthy gets hired as the new head coach for the Seahawks. Okay, because he gets fired from the Cowboys. Monkey Big Bras. What? That's, are we serious, Madden? What? All right, so now we're officially in the off season, and we have our final mock draft here, or not final. We still have a few more in here. So if we go and look, Jadarius Alexander is really who I'm interested in, and we're going to go back and look at these. We actually got some film from our scouting department on a few guys, so we'll have to look that out. Check that out here in a second. But where are we picking? We are picking 11th, so we almost get a top 10 pick. And they got us taking Corey Canty out of Iowa. And we actually got some film on Corey Canty. He's a pretty fast wide receiver. He's got good hands at times. He has been known to drop the ball, but he's got breakaway speed. He can get down the field really, really quickly and score, kind of like a Tyreek Hill type of guy, character, build, speed. He also can return punts and kickoffs. So we're going to be on the lookout for Corey Canty. He could potentially be somebody that we're after. Now, we also have Kareem Ball. Kareem Ball is a really good guard. I think one of the maybe top 2-3 offensive linemen in this draft. He's going 10 to the Atlanta Falcons. Really good point of attack, really good impact blocking, really good at pass blocking, got good awareness, can really stop a defender in their tracks. I really like Kareem Ball. So that's interesting. We have those 2 players, Kareem Ball and Corey Canty, are really on the top of my list. Of course, the best guy is Jadarius Alexander, tackle from Auburn, house, 6'4", 340 pounds, get out in space. He can make blocks. He can stand people up. He's like a brick wall, and that would be exactly what we need to protect Justin Fields in his blind side. And another guy that I'm interested in and projected to be taken 17 to the Jags is Tyron Lowry. Very fast, speed rusher, kind of some issues with his power moves and his block shedding. He's been known to over pursue, fall down, get caught, get kind of demolished by the offensive line. So we'll have to be careful with him, but 6'5", 270 pounds out of North Carolina, good speed rusher. He's also somebody I'm very interested in. He is a scheme fit for our defense currently. So that's interesting. Of course, Donald Blanton was also somebody who we were looking at, but he's an outside linebacker, speed rush. We're not really looking for him. He's not a good scheme fit for the type of, he's more of a 3-4 rusher. Let's look at the retirements right quick. Deshaun Jackson finally retires after 15 years in the NFL. Joe Hayden retires. Calais Campbell, Cole Beasley, JPP, Jason Pierre-Paul is finally retiring. Nick Folk Brian Hoyer, Devin McCourty, Mason Crosby, and Ndamukong Suh, Joe Flacco, Janoris Jenkins, Trent Williams. That's a huge loss there. Emmanuel Sanders, which he kind of retired in real life here just a few days ago. Chad Henne, Dustin Hopkins, Everson Griffin, AJ Green retires. And for the Bears, Linval Joseph does retire. We were looking at potentially re-signing him. He did get a little hurt at the first half of the season, but he kind of got straightened out. I really didn't see him get hurt too much. Buccaneers. Tom Brady's still alive. I just don't get it. What the heck, man? Oh, and just in case anybody was wondering, head coach Monkey Big Bros, he finally retired. So we do have 20 players that are interested in re-signing. Now, Tavon Young, he's 29 years old. He did get beat pretty bad. We got to admit, he got beat pretty bad in that last game against Justin Jefferson. He's probably going to regress a little bit. I'm not too interested in signing him. Byron Pringle, again, 29, 74 overall, not interested. Dante Pettis, I think, deserves a chance to get re-signed, at least at the receiver or the kick return position. But I think we might re-sign him in free agency. 90 speed, 92 acceleration. I think we let him walk because you see his re-sign interest is not really that great. Riley Reif will let go. N'Keal Harry, we're okay with letting him go. Now, DeAndre Houston-Carson is somebody I'm definitely interested in re-signing. He was a playmaker for us for a while. 2-year contract and have him at 31. I'm going to see if he'll sign for a 1-year deal. 30 years old. He's probably going to regress a little bit, and he might drop down to like a 69 overall. His player motivations, historic championship is an impact, so he's okay with that. Big market. We're a big market here in Chicago, and no income tax. Illinois does have it. So his interest level is, he's kind of up there. He's like, I'd like to come back for the right price. And I'm willing to pay him. We've got cap room. We're really not that worried about that. We have like 137 million in cap room. So I'm going to give him a nice deal, $2.5 million. And I'm going to give him a $1.2 million signing bonus, which is more than what I think he wanted per year. Of course, Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker is there, but he's just good depth in case somebody gets hurt. And also linebacker, he's a good sub linebacker. We saw that. Let's offer him a contract. I would like to play for a new team next year. So he contract negotiation didn't work. So you know what, DeAndre? We didn't want you anyways, but we'll try to see if he's out in free agency. And everyone else, I just don't really see a big need in signing. A lot of these guys are older and they're not really that good. Let's be honest. Dane Cruikshank, not really worried about him either. If we go all the way through this list, there's just a bunch of players. DeAndre Houston-Carson was really the only one that I was ecstatic about or felt the need to sign. So after that, we're going to advance to stage 1 of free agency. And let's hope that free agency isn't as crazy as it's been for some people. Now, we do also get to see combine results, and we'll hold off on that. Let's go and look at free agent signings. So Tom Brady is sitting here in free agency. Do we sign him? No, we're not signing him. His interest level, he doesn't even want to come here. So our biggest needs, I sit here and made a little chart. We need wide receiver depth. We need, I would say, a surefire number 1, number 2. And put Mooney in the slot. Mooney is technically a slot. We need backup tight ends, a left tackle. We do have someone who's young there that we potentially could use, but I would really like to get a starting guard, maybe another defensive end, potentially trade Robert Quinn. Maybe that's something we need to do right now. We need a starting defensive tackle. Now Linval Joseph is gone. Our outside linebacking spots, left and right outside linebacker, we've got nobody. We need a starter and backups. I think we need a good nickel corner and potentially a good future pick that could start up opposite of Jalen Johnson. And then we need backups at both safety positions. So if we go ahead and let's look at the wide receiver core, who's out here? Calvin Ridley, the gambling man from Alabama, is there. Odell Beckham is there. Michael Gallup. Calvin Ridley is kind of interesting at 93 speed. He's interested in becoming a part of the team. We also have Jarvis Landry. Cole Hardman, 97 speed, 25 years old. He's not interested at all in signing with us, unfortunately. Juju Smith-Schuster is done with us after 1 year. Now, he does have interest in signing with, but his speed is just not what it used to be. And I want speed at the wide receiver position. We can throw short slants, and if we have time, we can throw it over the top. Why is McCole Hardman not? So he has no mentor at the position. The income tax is terrible, and that's basically it. His major thing is having a mentor at the position, and God, I would love to get him. He would be like the perfect player, in my opinion. DJ Chark would also be interesting as well, but not the right scheme fit, so he wants to be in the right scheme for him. Will Fuller as well. There's just nobody who is interested in coming to play with us. We're 8-9. We did better, right? So I think Calvin Ridley is really the only guy that we could potentially sign as a wide receiver. Now, remember in that draft process or draft board, it said it had us taking a really fast wide receiver. And that might be where we need to go because there's just nobody that really wants to come to Chicago right now because Justin Fields threw 40 interceptions and we're not known for passing it. So why would they come to our team? But Calvin Ridley, potentially, you know, it's a thing. We're an underdog in the Super Bowl chase. Calvin Ridley at the number 2 spot, I don't think is really that bad of a pickup. And we've got money. So let's kind of offer him a deal. Now he wants a 4-year deal, 11.8 million, 6.6. At 4, he'll be 32. I'm not so sold on him. I'm willing to give a little bit more for a 2-year deal. We'll just make an offer for 2 years. I'm really worried about his speed dropping off once he gets past 30. So we'll just see. We'll see if he's interested in that. Now, Jack Conklin here is interested in joining with us. Right tackle. He's a star fit. He's 29 years old. He's not as scheme fit, but he's close to home in Michigan and he would like to come home and maybe finish out his career. We could swing him to left tackle. I'm totally cool with that. And a 3-year deal, 3 years, 32. He's at 80 overall. We could wait to draft because we're just not in a good spot to take a tackle right now. Maybe we can draft somebody young. So I'm going to do a 2-year deal, but I'm going to give him some money. I'm going to see if he's interested in that. And it looks like he kind of is. If we could, oh man, if we could get this guy, we're ahead of the Broncos and the Cardinals right now. If we could get Jack Conklin, that would kind of shore up our offense. Now we don't have a guard at all, which means that Kareem Ball could be somebody that we're targeting in the draft and that we need because there's just nobody here that's actually any good. So we might have to scour the draft. We might have to go out and try to get somebody now. And we also have Greg Gaines here, 27. He's young. He's 78. He's a scheme fit. I think this is somebody we could be interested in signing, and he would be around for a while. You see Mario Edwards, 29. He kind of fell off there. We didn't really have anybody. I think he's somebody who we sign. So that brings us to 3 active negotiations, and we got 3 eval. We can actually give an eval offer and see if that's the offers that we put out is what that player wants. So that's something to keep in mind as well, that we'll have that ability here once we get all 5 of our signings done. And unfortunately, outside linebacker, there's just nobody here that's even good to begin with. And then on top of that, there's nobody that actually wants to sign with us. Oh, so Mike Hughes, corner. Do we solidify our secondary even more? 5-year guy out of UCF. He's a scheme fit, 80 overall, 90 speed. Ooh, guys, I'm kind of interested in him. We're not going to be able to get a good corner in the draft this year. I just don't think any of the good corners, they're going to be all off the board, and they're not, I don't even think going to be on this level. So I think signing him is definitely something that we need to do. Let's make an offer. And then on top of that, I kind of want to see if he would actually even accept the offer. So we're gonna go with him first, and we're gonna see if he we're gonna evaluate the offer, see what he says. Okay, so Hughes is very much interested, so he signed, and so did Jack Conklin. So we got a tackle and we got a corner. Calvin Ridley is still trying to think about it, and you know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb with Mecole Hardman. I'm gonna see if he would sign with us. I'm going to give him a 4-year deal. I'm going to pay him a lot of money. We've got money to burn right now. Why not? And let's just see. We'll make an offer. He's kind of interested in it, and we're on the top of the board. So it might be enough to get him. If we can get him and Calvin Ridley, along with Darnell Mooney, that wide receiver core automatically gets very, very interesting. So unfortunately, we did not get Greg Gaines whenever we did our eval, but we still have Derek Nottie here. Florida State, he's still a really good defensive tackle, and he's a scheme fit. So why don't we go ahead and try to give him a shot, see if he'd be interested in signing with us. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I just don't know what we do about outside linebacker. I mean, there's just kind of no one really here that we could use that I think would actually make an impact. All right, so these are the 3 players we got left in this first stage, and I'm trying to get as many good players as we can before the end of the first stage, because after that, you know, a lot of the good players are kind of gone. We're going to eval these offers again and see if we sign anybody. Cole Hardman's still in there. We still have a chance. Who else did we sign? We got Calvin Ridley, and we got our defensive tackle. So the Eagles aren't willing to pay Mecole Hardman as much as maybe we are. So because of that, I'm going to back off. We're going to advance the week and see what happens. We do have combine results. We're going to check this out right quick. So first, we're going to check out old Daniel McCann here We weren't able to get any real good film on him, but awareness A to B, impact blocking's A, pass blocking's B. He's somebody that I'm kind of interested in as well. He's first round talent, 75% is scouted. But if we look at his NFL combine, really what we want to look at is his bench press. And that's 33 reps that ranked 8th at the left tackle position. So his strength is just good. It's not that great, and that's what kind of worries me about him. I really worry because he's not got like great to elite strength. He might not be the best offensive lineman out there at the tackle position. Now, of course, Kareem Ball, I'm sure he performed wonders. If we look at his physicals, his bench press was, it was actually only 12th in the NFL. Okay, that kind of changes things, guys. For Kareem, his speed is still great though. And I think that's why we were really interested in him, was his change of direction, and his speed was great. So he was the fastest left guard in the combine. So he can get out in space, get out in front of him, and we do need a guard. I'm kind of looking at potentially getting Kareem Ball at a first round pick if we can get him. Of course, Darius Alexander, top 5. He's projected to go 1 overall, and I don't think we have a chance. I just don't. He's A to B, impact blocking's A, pass blocking's B. I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, look, bench press first. His 40 time was 12, so he's not really that fast. He's got great change of direction, which is really, really good for a tackle position. And then, of course, his strength is just elite, which I'm thinking he is probably one of the best players in this draft. But right beneath him, Skylar Buchanan, he's an agile guy. He's not a scheme fit for us. Projected to be still a first-round talent. And if we look at his physicals, he was 4th. In speed and bench press. His 3-cone drill was 2nd. He's got great speed. He's got elite change of direction. I'm kind of interested in him. I'm gonna be honest with you. Skylar Buchanan might be somebody that we also draft. And if he's not great at tackle, we could move him in to a guard position because he's an agile type of guy. He could be a swing tackle where he could just be, we could move him in as a guard as well. I really like him there. Max Lowry is also another guy, agile, that we're looking at. Let's look at his physicals. So he's also pretty quick, pretty strong. Elite speed. I think we've got some chances here to get a good guard. I think that's probably Buchanan, Lowry, or Ball is probably where we're going to go. Now, Max Lowry, we got 100% on him. He's 1 to 2. And I think we try to get, I think we have another opportunity to do another scouting. And I think we try to get Buchanan and Ball as much as possible. Marcus Massey was also somebody else we were looking at. Run stopper, scheme fit. He's an edge rusher. Again, we're going to try to trade Robert Quinn for maybe for somebody young if we can possibly do that. Speed, not so good. But he was more of a run stopper. He's top 5 bench press, and so he's okay. He's a decent guy. I think he's more of a 2nd round draft pick for us, not somebody that we definitely go over in the 1st round. Now, Tyron Lowry, we saw the tape on him earlier. Potential to be a pretty good guy. Out of North Carolina, 22 years old, delivers bone-crushing hits, really fast around the edge. 20-yard shuttle time was actually 1st. So he's got great speed, great jumping, great change of direction, great agility, great acceleration, and his strength is just decent. So I think Tyron Lowry is just a good all-around speed rusher, maybe somewhere like a 75 overall. He probably would peak around like an 85. I wouldn't think he would get up into like the 90 range. Maybe he could if we could hit maybe a superstar, goal, X-Factor goal during one of our games, but he does have the potential. So let's advance the week to stage 2. Let's see if we get, if we get Mecole Hardman with that speed. Oh, that would just be, oh man, I would be ecstatic about that. Tom Brady signed with the Eagles. Kareem Hunt with the Falcons. Okay, so at least we don't have to deal with Tom Brady. He's still in the NFC, so we might have to face him this upcoming year. I don't know exactly. We faced the Eagles last year, so I would think we might get lucky and not have to face him again. And it looks like we did get Mecole Hardman, guys. So we get Calvin Ridley, Mecole Hardman, 93 speed, 97 speed. We can put Mooney in the slot. These guys can start. Maybe we even put Hardman in the slot. But nonetheless, wide receiving core just got a lot better. Cole Kmet now paired up with these 3 wide receivers, Mecole Hardman, Calvin Ridley, and Darnell Mooney. We actually got Justin Fields some weapons. We solidified the back end of our secondary with getting Mike Hughes. We added a good tackle in Jack Conklin. We shored up the defensive line with Derek Nottie, which not as good as Linval Joseph, but he does help. I'm still probably going to go out in the draft. We're probably still going to try to get a defensive tackle, try to get an edge rusher. I think we tried to trade for Robert Quinn right quick. I don't want to make any more moves in the free agency. I'm not really that concerned with it, but let's go ahead and see if we can potentially trade Robert Quinn for maybe somebody else because he just didn't show up. Oh, Robert Quinn regressed, guys. Ooh, he regressed. He regressed quite a lot. He's down to an 80. Oh man, that's tough. Travis Gibson is still a 77 at 26 years old. Not really sold on him. I don't think we're going to get him much for Robert Quinn. If we see him, if we can get any offers, yeah, we're not getting a whole lot. Cordell Patterson, maybe. Adrian Phillips. Yeah, no one really wants him. I really wasn't expecting him to regress as much as he did. Oh, so we might be stuck with him. We do have the 4th mock draft of the season coming up, and still Jadarius Alexander still going 1. Let's see Kareem Ball, has he moved up any? No, he's still right there with us. The Falcons taking him, and I'd kind of like for us to be able to get him. Tyron Lowry moves up. We talked about him as a speed rusher. Daniel McCann is also somebody that we talked about, and the Seahawks are looking at potentially taking him. And Corey Canty goes all the way down to the Jags now because we shored up our wide receiver position. Really don't need him. And you look at his catch, B to D, his release is B to D. I mean, he was just a very sketchy pick to start with. He had a ton of speed, and he could be a very good project player. But I think signing somebody that we know is going to be good has really set us in a good position. Now, Max Lowry is also somebody good, and we talked about that we could potentially move in. Projection 1 to 2, we've 100% completed him in scouting. Stephen McLean, we've talked about. So I think there's going to be some opportunities. I really would like to get Ball. I think that's kind of who I'm stuck on right now, if you can't tell. So now we're looking at the college pro days, because now these are a little bit different. So his bench press was a little bit better. Now he's the 8th guard. So we'll take that for a grain of salt. You know, people perform a little bit better in their college pro day. It kind of gives us an idea of about where he's at. If we start looking at his skills again, injuries A, lead block is A because of that speed. Run blocking is A, which feeds right into David Montgomery would love that. And his pass blocking is kind of his weakness, but he's still a really good guard. And I really want a chance at potentially getting him. Now, if we go over here to the right tackle, and we talked about Skylar Buchanan, we talked about Max Lowry. And if we look at Skylar Buchanan, and we'll go ahead and look at his physicals as well, his bench press went down just a little bit, but his 7-3 cone drill was a little bit better. He's still got really good elite speed, but this is the guy that kind of is jumping out to me is Max Lowry. Even though it says his talent's a 1 to 2, his speed is ridiculous. He is a freaking athlete. Elite speed, elite jumping, great agility, great change of direction. His bench press wasn't as good, so he's not very strong, so he might get pushed back going up against some of the bigger defensive tackles if we move him at the guard position. I'm really liking Max Lowry a lot here. It's really going to be up between him and Ball. I think if Ball gets taken by the Falcons, we're probably going to take Lowry at our pick in the 1st round. I do want to go out and try to sign Max Williams. We need a backup tight end. Somebody to pair with Cole Kmet. He's 29 years old. He wants a 3-year salary. Again, I'm not willing to give him that. But again, scheme fit. Be nice to have him underneath with Cole Kmet. So we'll give him an offer, see if he'd be interested in that. And we do sign him. So we got him. We got a good backup tight end. Now we don't really have to press for that in the draft either, of trying to sign a backup to Cole Kmet. Let's go ahead and advance to the 3rd stage of free agency. And I actually just went to the last week. We're going to go ahead and do the mock draft 5 and see if that changed anything again. Ooh, this is interesting. This is a big change. Jadarius Alexander, for the most part, has been the top of the leaderboard, and now he's dropped. Carlos Cox is now going number 1. Donald Blanton is now going 3 overall. So Jadarius Alexander is going down to 7. So there's a chance that we could potentially get him. Kareem Ball still going to the Falcons. They're pretty sold on him. Now it's got us going with Emmett Fisher, which I haven't really looked at, but I think for some reason we weren't too sold on Emmett Fisher. No, he was somebody that we were interested in at the guard position. I kind of forgot about him, to be honest. I got kind of stuck on Ball that I really didn't even look at him. His strength is great. Change of direction is great. Agility is great. Acceleration is great. His speed is solid, though. He's not really that fast. And I don't think he's as good as maybe one of the other tackles we were talking about and moving him over. Yeah, I don't think he's a 1st round talent. I think he's more of a 2nd round, and I'd be totally okay with drafting him in the 2nd round, but I don't think he's a 1st round talent. We do have the private workouts, so I think we do that. I think we definitely put Ball in one of the private workouts. We get 3 of them. We want to make sure we hit with this 1st round pick. We have to. So we're going to select Kareem Ball. And then I think we go to tackle. And then I think we go with Lowry. I'm sorry. We go with Buchanan. And then do we go with Emmett Fisher? I don't think we do. I think we might go defensive line. Maybe even outside linebacker. Was there somebody that we were potentially interested in? And I think I'm gonna use Tyron Lowry. I would like to learn a little bit more about him. If we look at his measurables, he's an athlete. I mean, he's 6'5", 270 pounds, first off. And look at acceleration, great. Agility, great. Change of direction, great. We talked about this. He's not really got that much strength, which is why he's a speed rusher. But this hit power, the impact blocking, the pursuit, the block shedding, those are important things to know. And I need to figure out, like, is it a B to D or is it a B? Like, I mean, what are we doing here? So I think we're going to do Tyron Lowry. And every time you move out of this, you always got to go back and do it. Skylar Buchanan and then Kareem Ball. I think those are the three guys that we do. We'll confirm these and then we'll see if we can, one of those is our guy. So Kareem Ball is a 1 to 2 talent. That is interesting. I was not expecting that. I was expecting that to be a surefire, like round 1 talent, and that changes things. But look, I mean, I guess it's because his run block and run block finesse is C. Pass block finesse is a D. Ooh, so he's more of a physical guy. Lead blocking is A. Run block power is B. Pass block is B. Pass block power is B. So it's really weird. Kareem Ball is athletically, he's a very fast, agile type of guy, but he does better with like power. I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm not, that kind of worries me, I'll be honest with you. So if we go to right tackle, Skylar Buchanan, guys, out of LSU, agile. He's a round 1 talent. And look, acceleration, elite, agility. This is our guy. I think Skylar Buchanan is who I'm set at trying to get. Lead block is A. His injury is C. And his pass block power is C. But pass block is B. Pass block finesse is B. His awareness is an A. I think this is our guy. Skylar Buchanan is the guy that I'm sold on. Now, we also looked at Tyron Lowry. We didn't get 100%, but we did get 90%. So we kind of did learn a little bit more about him. And if we look at his skills, his block shedding is a D. So he's terrible against the run, which really isn't going to help us a lot. But his impact blocking is an A, so that helps out. Play recognition is a B. I think Tyrone is more of a 2nd round talent. So we've got some options and we got 2 2nd round picks. So I think maybe him and another offensive lineman is kind of who we're going after, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, I am kind of sold on our right tackle from LSU. All right, so let's start the draft. I am very 50-50 on drafts. I'm very 50-50. We're going to pause it and then we're just going to skip ahead. And oh my God, I always get so nervous. Cue the dramatic music. And just remember, Skylar Buchanan is our guy. That is who we're trying to pick in the 1st round draft. Skylar Buchanan out of LSU. So let's skip ahead. First pick in the draft is going to be Carlos Cox. Okay. And then we got Rich Bates going to the Lions. We really didn't scout any of these players, so we really don't know them. Donald Blanton going to the Dolphins. The Cowboys take a corner. Okay. Byron Franklin. Jaden Weston, first quarterback off the board, goes to the Colts. And Skylar Buchanan goes to the freaking Cardinals. He went 6th overall, guys. What? If Buchanan is if he's like an 80 overall, I am going to freaking lose it. Oh my God. I can't believe we didn't get him. He was not even projected to go that high, was he? Jadarius Alexander, right tackle, goes to goes to the Seahawks. Daniel McCann goes to the Jets. All right, a lot of our guys are going off the board, unfortunately. Jeffrey Sutton, corner, goes to LSU. And then the freaking Falcons took Kareem Ball. Dude, that could not have worked out any worse for us. Oh, that couldn't work out any worse. Do we trade back now is the real question here. Because if we look across at our favorites, Corey Canty's still there, which I'm just not sold on. We do have Max Lowry here, who's a 1 to 2. He's 100%. We talked about this. Awareness is A. Impact blocking is an A. He's got elite speed, great acceleration, great agility, great change of direction. So he is a freaking athlete. The only thing that worries me is he doesn't possess great strength and his pass blocking is terrible. His injury is also an F. Do we draft somebody that is going to constantly get hurt? Well, other than that, this is really a chance. But we have to get somebody at the guard position this year. And if we trade down, I just don't think that we will have the opportunity to get anybody. I'm going to go out on the limb and we're going to draft Max Lowry. Oh, this might be bad. Stud finder. We just hidden development trait. 64 agile, his skills, 83 acceleration, 85 strength is not that bad. Oh my, yes. So we might have just gotten somebody really, really good. And I think I'm just going to go ahead and skip to our next user pick because we do have 2 picks in the second round. And I hope that one of our defensive linemen and another offensive lineman is still on the board. I'm okay with stacking offensive linemen also to build for the future. So we really don't have anybody really that I targeted left in this draft. Now we have Stephen McLean. He was a round 1 projection. His talent is round 2 to 3. And we have 100% completed that. Here's the question. We have 3 other defensive tackles here. So the real question is, which one of these guys do we take? And I'm gonna be honest with you, Mitchell Gilbert is somebody I'm kind of interested in. And now you might say his power moves is an F, but that, who cares? His finesse moves is an A. His stamina is an A, so his motor is going to keep running. His tackle's a B. Impact blocking is B. Right recognition and awareness are all B, and injury is B. I like this guy a lot now that I'm looking at him. Speed is an elite speed at the defensive tackle position, so he's going to get off the ball quick. He's going to be able to get into the backfield. I think it's going to be able to help with some of our run blocking. If we look at his scouting report, physical player who delivers bone-crushing hits. He loves to utilize a spin move, has a swift overarm move. He often looks to rip the ball away from runners. He's very disciplined. He has a high motor. I think we draft Mitchell Gilbert. And unfortunately, he does not have a depth trait, but his speed is 80. His agility is a 67. So maybe I overreached on that one. I'm not entirely sure. So this is our second round pick, and we don't have another pick until the 4th. So I think we really do have to hit home with this. Unfortunately, we didn't do a lot of drafting or a lot of in-depth stuff outside of the wide receiver, defensive line, offensive line position. And I feel like we're in a pretty good spot except for D end. And because we need depth at the defensive line position, I think I'm going to go with Jacoby Brutton out of Tulane, 6'2", 254 pounds. Now his block shedding is an F, which means he's going to suck in run blocking. But his acceleration is elite. He's not that strong, but his 40-yard dash, pretty good. 3-cone drill, pretty good. So he's very quick off the ball, but it does kind of worry me that his block shedding is an F. But play recognition is B, awareness is B, and his finesse moves B. So maybe we could put him in rushing situations and kind of get rid of Robert Quinn and see if he can be successful and develop for us. Kind of, I think, probably going to be like a project player, but we'll see how it turns out. I'm not too sold on these last 2 picks, if I'm being honest. So we're in the 4th round where things kind of get a little crazy, right? Like we're getting to where it's kind of, you're just getting lucky and you're going to try to just draft players based on their skill set that you know of and their overall athletic ability. We do need a backup safety in both areas. And I'm looking here, Philip Lewis out of Alabama. You know, you can always trust Alabama to have good defensive players. And then I'm looking at maybe Stephen Lamontagne out of Virginia. So these 2 guys are kind of who we're looking at. So if we look at Philip, great first name, by the way. Hit power is a C. Man coverage is B to D. That kind of worries me. And his tackling and zone coverage is pretty bad. And if we look at his athletic abilities, really nothing that stands out to me about being great. Now his catching is an A to C. So it seems like he's more of like a ball hawk. Kind of relies on his athletic ability to get and create turnovers. Man coverage is B to D, but that zone coverage is pretty bad. And it's also possible that the man coverage is also a D. Is that really something we're wanting to take on a player that potentially isn't as gifted athletically? And neither so much is old Stefan Lamontagne. So, man, we're kind of in a bad spot. And really, oh, Steven does not have too many good traits all the way across the board. So we're going to take a chance on Philip Lewis. We need depth. If Brisker is hurt or Eddie Jackson, we really got nobody there. So we're going to draft Philip on a chance that maybe he can develop into something. 86 speed. He's a little better than I thought. We'll just have to look at those intangibles and those skills and see what those end up being. So I think we're going to take DeAndre Winslow here as an outside linebacker. We have literally no left or right outside linebackers at all. So, I mean, there was nobody in free agency. We're going to scour the practice squad as well and see if we can't snake somebody who might be decent. But we're going to draft DeAndre Winslow here out of Troy. He's left-handed. That's always a good sign. He's got 80 speed, 89 acceleration, 77 change of direction. So his measurables aren't really that bad. We're going to have to see. Now, he's a zone coverage linebacker, and we'll just have to see how he pairs up. So that was our last draft pick. Let's drum roll, please. Let's see who we got and how good are they. Oh, they're not good at all. They suck. Oh, my God. Max Lowry is a 73 overall. He is an upgrade of what we got already at the guard position. Mitchell Gilbert is going to be a rotational player for us at best. Jacoby Brutton, really not that. Oh, man, I mean, we kind of just the bed. Skylar Buchanan, who we were really interested in, was a 75 overall. Now, I don't know if what kind of development trait. He also has a hidden development trait as well. That's interesting. We won't know what he has really, but our guy has a hidden development trait also. But I was trying to look. Donnell Blanton, 73 overall, so we really didn't lose much there. The best player in the draft, though, was Byron Franklin. Deion Tharp went to the Giants. That was probably that was the steal of the draft right there. 76 overall. Got picked in the 3rd round. Also, Isaiah Wayne gets picked up in the 3rd round for the Dolphins. What sucks is Stephon Blackburn, run stopper out of Clemson, 76 overall, really what we needed. And he got drafted in 20th overall. We had an option to take him. That kind of sucks, but you could always say, what if? Corey Canty went to the Dolphins, and he was a 75 overall. His speed is a 99, and his catching is a 77. He's really not that bad. If this dude has a hidden development trait, oh, man, and he does. That's tough. Now, I mean, all things said, like what could we have done about that? Like he had an F for catching, it looked like. All right, so we went ahead and we're fast forwarded to the preseason, and we're going up against Conti and the Dolphins. That's pretty funny. With Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Chris Conti, the 3 fastest guys at the wide receiver position in the NFL are on the Dolphins. And good thing we're going up against them in the preseason. But we do need to look at potentially signing some free agents and also scouring the practice squad potentially, or whoever's left. Now, we still need a backup tight end. We still need a backup right guard to back up our rookie right guard. We still need a starting left and right outside linebacker, and we need a backup strong safety. So first, let's go look at outside linebackers. Is there anybody here? Melvin Ingram's are more of a rushing passer. Now, Justin Houston is a scheme fit, 73 overall. I don't think we really have much of a choice. I don't know why I'm sitting here saying like, oh, you know, we could potentially get him, because we don't have anybody. And I think we're going to have to sign him to a 1-year deal. I mean, we really don't have much of a choice here at this point. If we go to right outside linebacker, Gruger Hill is sitting here as a bridge player, 73 overall. He could potentially be somebody. We also got Blake Cashman, run stopper. He's a little bit younger, a little bit faster. It's probably who I'm interested in getting. We also have Julian Okwara at 25 years old. I think maybe he's the best player to get is probably going to be Cashman. Just a little bit faster. He can move around in space. He can help out Van Der Esch, move around. Maybe we can stop the run for once in our life. So we got our linebacking core kind of set, unfortunately. All right, guys, so meet your 2023 Chicago Bears. We're an 80 overall. We did improve. I don't think our draft was that good. I'm going to be honest with you. But I don't think the draft in general was that good. The highest player was a 77 overall. There wasn't too many great players, especially players that would fit our scheme and what we needed. I think our free agency was still good. We didn't spend a lot of money. We still have a ton of cap space. But offensive line is looking a little better here. Jenkins and Conklin are holding down the tackle spots. Feel good about that. Our 1st round pick, Lowry at the right guard. We moved him inside. He's got the speed to hold it down. We have Patrick and Cody Whitehair from last year still at the center and left guard positions. Cole Kmet increased, had a better year last year. Darnell Mooney increased last year as well. Really took off towards the end of the year. We've got Calvin Ridley and then McCole Hardman in the slot. Of course, David Montgomery. We have Khalil Herbert, Justin Fields, and Blasphemy Game at the fullback position. On defense, Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker holding it down. Defensive Rookie of the Year. We've got new acquisition, Mike Hughes, coming in, playing now. Cornerback 2, opposite of our guy, Jalen Johnson. Of course, we got Robert Quinn we're still stuck with, who's regressing like crazy. Noddy, we have at the defensive tackle position right beside Jones, and Tevis Gibson. Is it Tevis or Tevin? I always get his name wrong for some reason. Trevis. I don't know why I want to say it's Tevis. Trevis Gibson, who kind of turned it up towards the end of the year. I'm expecting big things out of him. He really needs to have a good year this year if we want to re-sign him. Our defense is not, again, the front seven is not the strength of this defense. It's really the back end, the secondary. Eddie Jackson's not getting younger, but we do got some good guys. I feel like our offense really has been really what we focused on. I think next year, this upcoming year, we really got to focus on the defense. And again, still solidifying that offensive line. But on the next video, guys, we are going to play all of our preseason games, get a look at these guys, and then get set up for week 1 against Green Bay. That's going to be interesting. Make sure to hit that like button. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of our draft? Was it good? Was it successful? I give it a C+. I'll catch everybody later. Peace out.